Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly. Tonight, with special co-host James Dockery. And James, we got a great guest coming on with us tonight. Robby Marino is going to join us here in just a little bit. But I got a little bone to pick with you, my friend.
Me?
Yeah.
You always have bones to pick with me.
I know. You and Sonny Parker promised me faithful that you would keep all that snow and cold weather to the north and west of me, and you both lied because I got cold. Right now it's -2, and I don't like that none. And I got about 6 inches of snow. It's still coming down, and it's not expected to quit sometime, maybe tomorrow. What's wrong with you?
Well, I'll take the credit for the snow, but the cold and all that stuff that's got to go to Mark.
To Mark?
So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not taking full responsibility for the entire southern half of the U.S. freezing tonight. That's all on Mark. So
okay, all right.
You got a complaint? Let's take it up with him. Send him a message tonight during the show. Let him know how you really, really feel, people.
I was trying to blame it off on Sonny, but maybe I won't be able to do that.
No. Sonny could have stopped it, but I mean, let's be honest. It's Sonny.
Sonny's not going to stop it. No, when he can pass it along, he's going to. I know that you're cold and you got lots of snow up there where you're at. You're north of me, 300 miles or so. It is going to be -8 tonight. They keep changing it. -8's the last forecast for tonight for us. It got up to a whopping 2 degrees today. And right now it's -2 and dropping. So,
well, it's -3 here with a real feel of -20. So, I mean, we're still holding pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
If I could convince Katie to take me fishing, I'd be on the lake somewhere right now, drilling holes in the ice. And
I have to tell you, I've been watching a lot of ice fishing videos because, let's face it, that's basically the only thing that's going on right now. And exactly. I've been pretty intrigued with all that ice fishing. Still not planning on ever doing any of it, but I am intrigued with it. But I hope everybody that was waiting, wishing, wanting the cold weather I hope they're happy. Because now I don't need it. Yeah, that'd be Mark. You're correct. I don't need it, don't like it, don't want it. But I'm in the same boat as the rest of you, so I guess we'll deal with it and go on. But it is cold, and the sooner we get to
warm up eventually.
Yeah, it will. I had a request from a guy that wanted me to take away Chad's wrench. I'm not sure. Dieter Melhorn, it's 79 here in Daytona today. Well, boo-hoo, Dieter. Go walk the chickens and exercise your bait.
Why don't we just block Dieter? You know that's what he's going to do the entire show. He's talking about the temperature and the weather down there. It's
all right. I don't mind. We can handle it. It's been a tough couple of days here, but you know what? It used to be like this all the time when we was kids, and we don't get near as much of this we used to. This is the coldest in the last 5 years. This is the coldest I can remember. So it's just another day in paradise, man. Robbie, welcome to Catfish Weekly.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. I watched you and judged you on the knot tying contest that Kevin with Palmetto Cats had, and I was so impressed with you. I thought it would be a great idea to have you on Catfish Weekly. So here you are. I want to ask you about all the stuff that you fish for and how you got started in fishing.
So I fish for catfish, bass occasionally, and brim is the most ones I fish for. And I started fishing whenever my grandfather, he had a dock on the Cooper River in Charleston. We would go brim fishing and stuff and catfishing. And we'd fish with stinky bait and stuff with Zebco catfish combos and stuff. And then from there, as I got older, I started watching more YouTube on catfishing and catfishing. And we would take the brim we caught, and we'd cut them up, and we started using that and the amount of fish we caught kept going up and up, and then getting bigger and bigger. And then we use the pontoon boat. We've gone fishing in that before, and then the Little John boat.
Very good. Now, who's your favorite guy to watch on YouTube when you're watching fishing videos?
Oh no, palmetto cats, Dieter Mellahorn, Catfish and Carp, or Mr. Brian of Flint Hill.
Mr. Brian with Flint Hill. He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He fishes in a kayak. Do you want to fish in a kayak?
Yeah, my parents say I'm too young and small, but it's okay. We're going to get there.
You're going to get that. That's exactly right. How old are you, Robbie?
I just turned 13 in January.
Just turned 13. James, if you have questions for Robbie, you just jump right on in.
I will.
We, James and I have done some stuff together before, Robbie, but not quite like this, but we'll get along. We're pretty good buds, so we'll make it happen. It's easy for me because the other guy's name is James too. And by the way, for those of you that wonder what happens to James Smith, he's got terrible storms out in his area, and he says it's been raining all week out there, or for a week, and he has zero internet. So James will be back with us next week, and hopefully he dries out a little bit between now and then. So Robbie,
go ahead,
Paul. What's your goal in fishing? How far do you want to take fishing?
I want to take it far. I want to grow the YouTube channel and the Instagram and all that kind of stuff big enough so I can start getting like income from it and be able to have like a big community and like be able to hang out and go fishing with my viewers and that kind of stuff.
That's
and
very admirable.
Yeah, just try to go.
Now, do you have a YouTube channel now?
Yes, it's called Fishing with Robbie.
Fishing with Robbie. So somebody could look that up and share that in our chat. Robbie's looking for subscribers, and that'd be awesome if you guys could help him out with that tonight. Go ahead, James.
Now, what do you find most enjoyable about the fishing?
I think it's just fun. I think it's like really fun to be able to hang out with my friends and stuff as I go fishing, and then all the memories you can make and like how big a fish you can catch, and just the fight whenever they hook up is just awesome.
There you go.
Very good. I see that you have some fishing rods and stuff back behind there, and the American flag, which is extremely admirable in my point of view. It looks beautiful hanging back there on your wall. Why don't you tell us what kind of fishing rods and the reels you have on those?
Okay. So the one up here, it's a Whisker Seeker rod that I got from Mr. Brian with Flint Hill Catfishing. And then we have an Abu Garcia Ambassador 64 6500, I forgot. And then we have a rod my great-grandfather gave me with the PC Fun Alios that Mr. Kevin with Palmetto Cats gave me. And I have a Muddy River Catfishing flathead rod that Mr. Chris Flores gave me. And then I got this Catfish Special 7000 Abu Garcia. And then I have Ugly Stick Surf Shark Rod with a Pin Slammer 5500.
Very nice. Good equipment. How did you talk Brian? Yeah, how did you talk Brian into how did you get a reel from Brian?
I got the rod from Brian.
You got the rod from Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Did he sign it? Did he put his name on it?
I don't believe so.
If I got one from him, I'd want him to sign it. Brian is a really good fisherman, and he's a really good kayaker, and he's very honest, and he makes really nice videos. So he's a good guy that you can put some stock into, kind of like Mr. Melhorn. You know, those guys, I give Dieter a lot of crap, but he gives me some back too. You know, it works out that way sometimes. It's kind of like you teasing your friends, and that's kind of the way we do. But yeah, they're good guys. I really like Brian. I like watching Brian's videos because he does a really good job with them, as does Dieter, and those are good guys to look up to.
Now, who do you enjoy fishing with the most out of everybody you fish with?
I like go fishing with my grandfather. Occasionally my dad. He doesn't always get to go. And then my friend Nick Villano lives right down the street. He's like my fishing partner. He's the one that always goes with me.
And how old's he?
Just turned 14, I think.
Okay. Now, What do you guys use for bait when you go fishing out there?
So during the summer, we like to catch a lot of brim and stuff, so we use those. And then occasionally we can get gizzard shad and use cut bait and stuff. And then Mr. Brian sometimes hooks us up with some little threadfin shad and stuff.
So you must live pretty close to Brian.
He lives 15 minutes away, I think.
Very good. Very good. Does he know that you're... Oh, there he is. He's in chat tonight, Flint Hill Catfishing. So
Awesome.
that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Trying to... Dieter. 79-degree Dieter. I can't get over that.
I told you you should have timed him out, Lyle. He's just going to keep doing this throughout the entire stream while the rest of us freeze to death.
Yeah, he's in Daytona.
You were on Palomino's show, and there was an individual that knocked you out of the competition, and that was Josh from the Weekend Angler. Now, is there anything you want to say to him? I mean, yeah.
I mean, I was kind of upset, kind of mad, not gonna lie. I was like, But he
Josh
sent me
made a young kid mad.
Yeah. He sent me some decals and some fishing bait, hooks, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of made up for it.
Yeah, he's a good guy, too. We like Josh. Mad Cat or Catfishing, thank you so much. Get down, honey. Get down. I'm busy. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Stephen Hare says, Robbie, how often do you fish Santee Cooper?
Well, since COVID, it's been hard to go down there and see our grandparents and stuff. But like, yeah, we maybe go with COVID maybe every 2, maybe every 3 months. But before, we'd go see them every month or so.
Yeah, the COVID has been hard on everything from tournament fishings and I mean just everything. So it's pretty tough.
Hey, Josh, or I'm sorry, Robbie, were you one of the kids that was fishing on the bank in one of Brian's videos?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. That Chadwick Fields asked it, or Fishing with the Chad wanted to know if you were.
Resist Tyrants. Thank you so much. Youth fishing. You betcha. It rocks. These are the very people that will be doing shows one day. They'll be doing catfish conferences one day. They'll be head of associations that we all dream about, run by the correct people, not the incorrect people. But they make the sport what it's going to be. They're making it now, and it'll be so much better down the road, and we have great aspirations for them. Dale Hayslip, thank you so much. We appreciate it. So James here works teaching people how to fish. He assists the Missouri Department of Conservation, so he knows a little bit. He catches a lot of trout, to tell you the truth.
I do. It's this time of year.
Do you catch any trout out there where you're at?
I've never caught a trout.
You never caught a trout? Have you ever fished at a place that has a dock to fish off of?
Grandparents' house.
Did you ever hit the roof on it?
Hit the what?
The roof?
I don't think so.
Well, James has.
Just once, and they won't let me forget it. So be careful what you put online, Robbie. I mean, it will come back to haunt you.
I couldn't resist. I couldn't.
No, I know, and the people in chat couldn't resist either. So as I
oh really? Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, they're having fun with it also. So, and that's the important thing, guys. Have fun with it. You know,
that's exactly
right. If you're bothered by it, then you need to find something else to do.
And that's good advice, Robbie. He's giving you some of the best advice that anybody could give you, because when you're doing your videos and you're out with your friends and you're filming and fishing and stuff, have fun. If you can't have fun doing it, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
Be yourself and you'll succeed in a huge way.
That's right. And here comes the wax. Thanks, Lyle. I appreciate that.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah. So glad I can call you my friend.
Ray Thorne says the flag is awesome. I agree. It looks great, and them rods sitting right in front of it. That's amazing. James Smith would be extremely proud of that because he's a huge patriot, and he's all about that. In fact, the tournament that he's got coming up in April, if you're available to go down there where that's at, and I don't have that information, I'm terribly sorry. Thank you, Hooks and Hammocks. We appreciate it. Block Dieter Fund. oh man, that's so
I think
funny.
that's a fund I can probably get behind.
Yeah,
so.
No kidding. But Patriot James, well, he's in chat now. But that would be a great tournament for you to go to because they have boat parts, they have bank parts, and all kinds of stuff, and it's down close to you. And I'm supposed to be out there for that. And I'd sure like to meet you if we can get together while I'm out there. I think that'd be fun.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. I need a boat.
Well, I might know. He's actually thinking. He's actually thinking like a true fisherman.
That's exactly right.
Oh, I need a boat. I need this. I need that. But Robbie, I think that would actually be a lot of fun with you because there are going to be a lot of YouTube fishermen that are fishing that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can go up and talk to each and every single one of them. And I guarantee you, everyone will take time to talk to you.
Absolutely. And if not, if you go make it down there and you find me, the ones that you don't know, I'll be happy to introduce you to because I'm pretty sure I know most every one of them.
Yeah.
But Flint Hill says, Robbie, I'm going to ask your mom and dad if you can float down the river with me, my kids this summer. He's in tubes.
Awesome.
And we'll take a couple of rods and some cut bait and free line fishing for cats. That will be a blast.
That sounds pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does. Josh, the weekend angler, says, be careful, Robbie. Boats breed boats. You start with one before you know it, your driveway's full of them. He does have
He does have a little bitty one that he's going to be fixing up here pretty soon. So
yeah, he does. So that makes him what, 2 now?
At least.
Yeah, I'm sure. So Wampus Cat's in there. Paula Smith's in the house. Ernie Brown Fishing Finds. Avid. Creole. LG Bass. Muskrat. Clearview Outdoors. Catfish and Crappie, Patriot Catfishers of America, LG Bass, Parker Pursuits, hang tight, Parker Pursuits. I got something to show you pretty soon. Carolina Catfishing, Buckeye, Flint Hill, Hooks and Hammocks, Justin's Fishing Fetish, Dale Hayslip, Dieter Melhorn, of course, Mad Catter Catfishing, Kevin Baker, Kevin Hare. That's as far as I'm going to go right now. We might work on some more of those after a while if we get a chance, James.
Okay.
So, Robbie, how long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
So I put a video up like in October or something. Just a quick little trip with a little channel catfish and hot dog in my phone. But I started taking it seriously probably about a month or 2 ago.
Now, you're not having the cold weather we have. You're having rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the temperature's still warm. So if it quits raining, you can go fishing.
Yes.
And where do you fish at when you go fishing right now?
I fish the Catawba River. And
how far is that from your house?
We live on the lot that has the woods and then the river. So I just walk down by the hill by the house.
You can just walk to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice.
What species do you fish for the most?
Probably blue catfish.
Blues? There you go.
Now, is there flatheads in that water that you're fishing?
There's some, but I haven't caught many big ones. I've caught like a 6, a 9, and maybe an 11, but like that's it.
That's pretty good though.
That's nothing to be ashamed of. Trust me.
Mhm.
My biggest flathead is only 19 pounds.
And I watched him catch it.
Yep. And there's still a lot of people that are new to fishing that are, I mean, even Lyle's age. So, I mean,
never caught one.
They've never caught anything that big.
Thank you,
and
son.
So your personal best is something for you to brag about.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. The thing about flatheads is everybody don't catch them, and you might catch a few of them by accident, but if you're targeting them, it's a job and you have to work at it. And once you're successful, the more time you put in, the more successful you'll be. A flathead catfish, in my opinion, which is worth nothing to nobody except me, is the king of cats. Mm-hmm. And once you get to where you're hooked on catching them, nothing will fit. It's just an urge you got to have. I mean, you got to fix it. It's it never goes away. You want them every time you go out, and sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. But there's nothing wrong with catching blue cats and jack cats either. I like them too.
Mm-hmm.
But they're addictive. They just are.
They feel a lot bigger than they really are.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
They feel a lot bigger than they actually are.
Is there current in your river?
Yes.
They
can get pretty bad.
Well, the thing is, them catfish know how to use that current to their advantage when they're fighting you. So they do really well. That's where they live, and they know how to do everything to make it better or not better.
Yeah. How much time do you actually spend watching other YouTube videos on fishing alone?
A lot. It's not healthy, but it's okay.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, because trust me and even Lyle, we will spend many, many hours a day doing just that.
That's
whether
right.
it's catfishing, whether it's panfish, we're watching fishing videos. Mm-hmm. And one of the most important things is you never stop learning. You really and truly don't.
That is 100% true. Sub to our guest, Fishing with Robbie. That's correct, Mark. Thank you so much. Trying to watch chat and keep things going here. We got some more coming in, looks like.
Yeah. Now, Robbie, I don't know how many subs you had before the show started, but you're up to 78 now.
Whoa, I grew like 30. Yay. Awesome.
Hey, that knock time paid off, didn't it? Practice all the time. Let me ask you, how much time did you spend in practice and tying them knots?
Basically, whenever I had free time, I would just tie because I was bored.
I have to tell you, when that first started and you whipped through that first set of knots, I honestly thought you was the guy to beat, because you just ran through them like nobody's business, and it looked like you might have got a little nervous on the next set and then a little nervous on the set after that. But that first set, I mean, you peeled them out like a pro. I was so impressed. Oh, man, look at this guy go. He just didn't learn to do this yesterday. He's been doing it a while. So that's really cool that you put that effort in to be competitive, because some of the guys that you was tying knots against have been tying knots since they was your age, and they're a long way from that now.
Yeah.
And that gentleman from South Africa, he was really quick at it. Josh was really quick at it. The guy that won it was extremely quick at it, and I was impressed with the whole thing. I thought that was a great show that he done. And but when you whipped that first batch out, I thought, look at this, man, this is going to be something. And but now,
did you know how to tie those knots before they got a hold of you about entering the tournament?
So not really. I just found Palmetto through Mr. Brian with Flint Hill, and I was watching his stream, and he mentioned about the knot tying tournament, and then I said, hey, can I enter? And he said sure. So I emailed him and all that, and then like a week before the tournament, I'm like, wait, is it okay if I tie these same knots but a different way? And he goes, no, you got to tie them the same exact way. So then I had to watch YouTube videos on how to properly tie them the way he wanted them to. So I did that almost like 3 hours one day, just sitting at the counter doing it, learning. And then like maybe 2 days before the tournament, he's like, wait, how old are you again? And I said, I'm 12. And he goes, I didn't know that. So then he had to email my dad and make sure I was okay for me to compete.
Yeah, well, and that's why I asked you to check with your parents to make sure it was okay that you come on the show with us. Now, didn't Fishing with Big Mike, wasn't he the winner of that tournament?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's in chat now too. So we're glad to have him and all the rest of the folks that have joined us. But yeah, usually when I have underage guests, I know them or their family.
Yeah.
But I didn't you and your family, and that's why it was important to me to have you make sure with your parents that it was okay, because not only do I not want to get you in trouble, I don't want to get me in trouble either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're rocking and rolling.
Parker Pursuit says that that's pretty impressive to learn those knots that quickly.
I agree.
You impressed a lot of people that night with how fast you were tying those knots. Even after you got nervous and stuff like that, you were still a lot quicker than I would have been. So
yeah, my fingers don't work like that anymore.
Yeah,
they don't work.
I can't believe Josh took him out like that. I mean, that was upsetting to a lot of people, I think. So we're not going to let him live that one down for a while.
Betty wants to know, Robbie, what is something that you've been taught by someone else about fishing that will stick with you forever?
Oh. My grandpa taught me a lot of rigs and stuff. And he said, all because you don't catch fish or something, it's still a better day than at school.
That's true.
That was a good one.
Or work or anything like that.
Yep.
You can say school now, but later on it will turn into work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That was a great question. What's that?
Nothing. They're starting to pick on Josh and chat. So
really,
I'm not going to say who timed him out, but I mean, I think they're doing it for Robbie. So show support for Robbie.
Yes, guys.
Robbie, you may now have an arch enemy to deal with for a while. So
Kevin,
welcome to the Catfish family.
Kevin with Palmetto Cats wants to know, what's the biggest fish you ever caught?
The biggest fish I ever caught was a 25-pound blue cat. And surprisingly, my mom kind of helped me catch the fish.
Cool. That's awesome.
She took me fishing one morning at like 7 o'clock or something. And she's like, I am not touching any of this equipment. I am not touching the fish. So out of nowhere, my ugly stick rod just bent in half. And I'm like, holy cow. So I started reeling it in. We tired it out. It was like a 5-6 minute fight. Nothing crazy. And then I get it to the bank, and I'm like, Mom, grab the fish. She goes, who do you think I am? I am not grabbing that fish. And I go, Mom, you got to grab it. I'm going to lose it. And she goes, no. So then I hand her my rod, and I just grab it and just pull it up on the bank. And then she run homes, gets my dad, weighed it and everything. It was like 25 pounds.
Did you not have a net? Did you grab it with your hand in its mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Bare knuckles. That's my favorite way to get them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was only like 25 pounds, though. But we broke up on a bigger one.
Mark with Catfish Crappie wants to know what your favorite bait is.
I got to stick with the cut brim.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Great choice. Well, that fish will probably be one that you'll remember for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably catch bigger fish.
I hope.
Yeah.
I have the 25.
You will.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
caught a lot of fish around that range to the 25, 20. So.
well, if you're catching those, the thing that you need to remember, if there's 25-pound fish in there, there's 40s in there somewhere.
Yeah, we broke off on a 60 plus. He got our line. He was using the current, got us stuck under a tree, like the tree's right here. He was under it. Our line, he came out of the water, beaver tail slapped, and he frayed our line on the tree.
I got to tell you,
What kind of line
there's
are
a
you
comment.
using?
80-pound braid.
Okay.
Here's a comment in chat that I want to read to you, and this is something you need to remember. And it comes from Dieter Melhorn. Here is my best fishing advice for Robbie Marino. Take a picture with your grandfather every time you catch a fish with him. You'll thank me later. Dieter Melhorn.
Yep.
And I promise you, no truer words have ever been spoken. And you may not understand it now. You might, but if you don't, you will down the road. I just know you will.
Yeah.
That's really a wonderful thing to go by. So thank you, Dieter, for that. That was great advice.
So Monster Route Adventure wants to know what your bucket list fish is.
Oh,
Meaning what kind of fish?
I've been like dying to go offshore fishing for a big mahi. I just been watching videos on them for years, and I just think they're amazing. But I haven't got the chance to go offshore yet.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Cindy and I was in Mexico a few years ago, and she caught a giant, and they're beautiful fish in a boat.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, she caught the biggest one, but I was okay with it because we was having such a good time. It didn't make any difference, but she did. She caught a really nice one, and then we took it in, and the place where we was at fixed it up for us to eat. So,
oh, mahi's good.
Yep, it is. But yeah, that's very respectable. Offshore fishing is addictive, says Parker Pursuits.
Yes, it is.
And it is. All right. Anybody else got any questions for? We lost James. Oh, James is back.
Nope.
We lost him again.
Yeah, his phone's messing up. Hang on one second, Lyle.
Okay, no problem, buddy. No problem. Anybody have any questions for Robbie while we have him in here? We don't want to keep him too long, but we want to get all the questions answered and anything else.
Okay.
Sorry, he's back.
And I'm back.
Hagen Grubbs is in chat. There's a good guy that you should watch some videos of his, Robbie. He's got some really good ones.
It's so cool when his son goes out and catches huge fish.
Patriot James says you can come down and bank fish at the tournament we was talking about in April. So that would be really good, but we might work something else out if we get a chance. What's your favorite rods and reels?
I really like the Muddy River rod. Like, I like it a lot. And then I like the Catfish special reel.
Very good. Very good. Gabby Goose wants to know, what lures do you use?
So like whenever I go for brim and stuff, I use worms or whatever. And occasionally little soft plastic curly tail worms or whatever.
Little bitty ones.
And then for bass, jerk baits have to be my favorite. It's like the only thing I use.
Okay. Good. Good answers. Good answers. Do you ever use
since being on
Go ahead, James.
Now, since being on Kevin's show or Palomino's show, have anybody else gotten a hold of you about being on their show besides Lyle? Or your friends,
I don't believe that. I think Mr. Lyle is the only one, but a lot of people have just spoiled me rotten. I got rods. Apparently someone's giving me reels I have in the mail. I've got tons of lures, tons of decals, it's just been awesome.
That's good.
That's good.
You ever use any jigs when you're fishing?
Like crappie jigs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but I've never caught a crappie. So
Never caught a crappie. You ever catch a bluegill on them?
not really, no. But I want to start trying it out.
Okay. All right. I'll hook you up. Who is your favorite youth angler channel to watch?
I like Hayden Grubbs a lot.
You like Hagen?
Mm-hmm.
His son's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he makes me a little jealous.
Have you seen Dinks Outdoors yet?
What, sir?
Have you seen Dinks Outdoors yet?
Dinks Outdoors. I do not believe so.
You need to check that out.
No, sir.
That's a really good one. You'll like it, I promise.
So, Robbie, one of the things, I mean, what is the funniest fishing story you have
Oh,
that you can remember?
we were fishing, and my friend Nick Filano, he was trying to be funny, and he jumped on a rock in the river, and he slipped in, dropped his phone in the river, and busted his butt really bad. It was just funny. I wish I would have got it on video though.
Now, do you record every time you go out?
Not then I did, but now I do.
Now, what are you recording on?
I have a GoPro Hero 8.
Very nice. Very nice. That puts out really good video. Now, can you live stream on that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm not either. I know the new 9 you're supposed to be able to live stream on, but I'm not sure you can live stream on the 8.
I wish you could though.
Yeah.
These guys are being really mean to Josh. He's having to switch YouTube accounts, and
that's killing you, ain't it?
Yeah, just keep timing him out. I mean, you know.
What's your favorite fishing snack? Kevin wants to know.
Chocolate graham crackers.
Chocolate graham crackers. Pretty good. I you know what the little chocolate donuts are like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like them in the morning, first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee. They just, And then it's smoke flavored Vienna sausages for me. But each one
a lot of people in here today.
What was that, James?
Say he's got a lot of people supporting him in here today.
Yep. Your boy Troy says he just subscribed, so they keep coming in.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Troy.
That's awesome. We're so glad that all the people that watch our show actually Josh, you just hang on. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Man, you guys are just being mean to old Josh. Welcome, Mike Chavez. Have you ever ate a crappie?
Have I ever what?
Have you ever ate a crappie?
Nope. I haven't even got one.
Well, that was a question from Betty. They're delicious.
Yeah, I've heard they taste really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Crappie's another one of those ones. I'll warn you. You catch one, and it's just it's like a flathead. You just have to keep going back after more and more and more, and then you start catching a little bit bigger ones, and then you got to catch a little bit bigger, and it just keeps going on from there. Also,
that's true. And usually, if you find and you catch one, if you keep going back, they travel in schools, and you can sit there and catch a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. My great-grandfather, he goes on Lake Wiley, and he catches them.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to go last summer, but COVID happened.
Well, maybe this summer. They're going to get a handle on that one of these days before long.
Yeah.
Lee Reed says, Lyle, we would love one of Miss Cindy's cinnamon rolls first thing in the morning with a slab of butter. That is the only way to eat them, Lee. I love them that way myself. But she has me cut off from them. I'm hoping that someday she'll make some more, but she has me off of them right now.
Anna wants to know if you got it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anna the Lakin wants to know if you play any sports or any other thing like that.
I do competitive swimming for the high school where I live.
Competitive swimming. Sweet. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see here. I thought I saw a question here.
Well, I did too, and I'm looking for it.
It was me.
Hey, Nick is in chat. Your buddy
Yep.
Nick.
I saw him.
That's cool.
Now, is there anybody you want to say hi to tonight? Did you have it?
Nick, Palmetto. I don't really know.
Well, how about Brian?
Yeah, is he still in here?
Well, I'm sure he is. If not, it doesn't matter. He might come back and watch it later. But man, if he give me a fishing rod, I'd be wanting to say hello to him.
Yeah. We were fishing, and he was like, "Wait, you use bait casters?" And I go, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "I got a rod at home for you. I'll send you a video of it." So he goes home. He sends me a video on it. He says, "You want it?" And then the next day, he brings us some bait, and he drops it off down by the river and goes fishing with us for a little bit.
Do you know Brittany McCrory?
Yes, that's one of my sister's friend's mom.
She is in chat.
Yep. Hello, Miss Brittany and Mr. Daniel.
That's awesome. They stop in here to check you out on the show tonight. We're glad to see them watch a little bit of Catfish Weekly with us. You are on our 362nd Monday night show.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we feel really, really glad that you're here with us tonight. I don't see anybody else with any question. James, do you have any other questions for Robbie?
There was somebody that asked about if he had ever fished the Mississippi River.
I have not. I've only fished the Cooper River and the Catawba.
Okay.
And then the beach a little bit.
Kevin said to ask you about shell crackers.
I like those a lot. I catch them on a little worm with a little hook or something. I like them because how bloody they are. They're good catfish.
They eat good too if you care to eat them.
I've tried eating brim and bluegill and shell crackers. I can't. I just like the way you eat it.
Ray Thorne wants to know if where'd it go? Is your dad or grandfather veterans?
My grandfather is.
Nice. Patriot James wants you to for Lyle to send him his address so that he can send him some floats.
That's pretty cool. When the show's over, Robbie, message me your address and I'll pass that along to James.
Awesome.
So we'll make sure we get that. Like oyster crackers and tomato soup. I do too. I just like to eat. Are you like that? Do you like to eat all the time?
Sometimes. Matters what it is.
No, I like to eat all the time. It doesn't really matter what it is. I just don't care. Just keep it coming. Yeah, Brian's still in there. Shell crackers. What's that, James?
I was talking about you, Lyle. Just keep going on.
I find it hard to believe it'd be true, but I see Brian with Flint Hill Catfishing is still in chat, and he said shell crackers, if the chat would slow down where I could, are fun to catch on the fly too, and I'm sure that is correct. They're hard fighting fish for no bigger than they are. Muskrat Adventure seafood diet. That's me. Seafood and want to eat it.
Now, is there besides the mahi-mahi, is there a certain fish that you would like to catch that you haven't yet?
I really want to
fresh water.
I want to catch a catfish that's over 50 pounds. I just want
catfish in general.
That's a legitimate thing. I see that in your future real easily.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to stick after it, and keep going.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Catfish Hunter. We appreciate that.
Make sure you just keep patience.
That's exactly right. Robbie, thank you so much for coming on the show with us tonight. I think people are done asking you questions. Hello, everyone. Hey, Robbie says, Muddy River catfishing. Chris Flores was just talking about a Chris Flores rod on your wall back there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all the questions are done. We appreciate you coming in the show with us tonight. We've had a great time with you. I would like to request that you would come back on and do another show with us one of these days when you catch that 50, or maybe if something else happens that you'd like to tell everybody about, and we'll try to get you some more subscribers.
Awesome. Cannot wait.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you. Don't forget to send me your mailing address.
All righty.
All right. Thank you so much, Robbie.
Thank you.
Creole, thank you. Man, what a great guest, James.
Yes, sir. And that's the main thing. I mean, we have got to get these kids out and fishing. And if we had more kids like that young man, we could do a lot more with this sport.
That's exactly right. And we gained him some subscribers tonight, and I look for him to be out as soon as the weather permits, making more content. And that's how you get to be bigger in the industry, but as polite and courteous and with the fishing drive that he has already, he'll do well in the sport. Now, your good friend, my good friend, not as good as a friend as me, but your good friend Josh would ask for me to put this on. So I'm going to have to do it.
Well, yeah, of course you have to. I mean,
because Josh is a good friend to me too. So anybody that hasn't seen it, what's that?
It's a rule, right? If Josh asks you to do something, you have to do it.
Well, it's not really a rule. It amuses me.
Well, there's a lot that amuses you.
You know what else amuses me?
Videos
that people send me. Do they amuse you?
No, they do not amuse me. Certain ones do, but I mean,
there was one that was made up before Christmas. They really amused.
Me. We don't need to see that. We need to find us a new video.
Okay,
that's what we need to do.
I might have one. Would you like to see if I don't know if I can make this happen or not, but let's try.
Let's try. Sorry, folks. You know, Lyle and technology. You got to give him like 5 minutes to make it happen.
Well, it didn't work. Of course it didn't.
Yeah, of course it didn't.
Let's try it again. Nope. I keep hitting the wrong button. I am technically challenged. If it comes to a phone or anything like that, I really struggle. Let's try this. Can you see that, James?
Hey, I sure can.
This was a video clip was taken out of Fishing with the Chads show Saturday. And that's Parker Pursuits as he falls down again and again.
But it almost sounds like he's either being taken out by a chicken, lands on a chicken, or it sounds like a chicken when he hits his butt.
Oh man. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm not sure where that come from. It was passed along to me. I hope Parker doesn't get aggravated with us for doing that. I don't think that he will. But I would thinking right now, I'd just like to go ahead and nominate that for the blooper reel for the Golden Whisker Award for next year right now. He's got to be in the running no matter what. He just has to.
Yep. Parker said his pride is still hurt over that. So
I'm sure it is. Well, you know what? him and Rob was out there along with some other guys throughout the United States in that competition Saturday, and it was cold. And
Yes,
they
sir,
never. I don't believe those two had any type of heater. They didn't get in the truck and warm up. They toughed it out in zero weather with no help of any kind. Just stood there, but they caught fish. And if I'm correct, James, you might correct me here because I might be off, but 45 or 47 fish they put on the bank that day.
I think it was 37.
Was it 37? Okay.
Yeah,
big number.
They were trying to, but you also have to take into consideration they were, I think, an hour behind. They lost an hour of fishing time.
Because they had to wait for them to open the gate.
Opened up, and walk into their spot and stuff like that. So they very easily could have beaten that 40 mark, and that's going to make it really tough on us guys this weekend.
It really is. Thank you, Flint Hill. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. 1 Ton Fishing Club, tell us about your hat and shirt. The hat I have is from Super Clean, and so is the shirt. Super Clean contacted me here a while back about being a sponsor to Catfish Weekly, and I had turned down a couple other companies, but the people that talked to me this time, it wasn't about a dollar amount. They wanted somebody in the fishing industry that hasn't been in there, and they looked at everything that's online and chose us. We was very happy about that. So before anything happens, they wanted me to try out their product and make sure that it was something that I could get behind, which I've already heard that it's outstanding. But I told them that would be great, and then we'll work out our deal later. But now it's 2 below zero, and I'm not really feeling like cleaning anything. So they'll have to wait a day or two till I can get it to work out. But Super Clean is a really good company. I did check them out because I have been stung by a few companies that I thought was more reputable than they was. So I'm a little more selective these days than I used to be. But I find them to be a very good company and a really big deal. And they won't be swayed by people that tells and makes up stories about things. So that was another thing I checked out. Hooks and Hammocks, great show tonight. Thank you, sir. Off to bed. Well, I understand that. Yep. Jordan Lear Outdoors. Man, we're glad to see you. I haven't seen you in here for a while. It's awesome having you in here. You don't live very far from me, and still we've never got together and went fishing. And in case somebody's wanting to go fishing on Lake Ozark or Truman and don't know where to go, give Jordan Lear a call. He is also a guide on the lakes near us, so and he does a really good job.
And I'd like to say that, with everybody that helped support Robbie and sent him, stuff, I mean, that's what this community is all about.
It is.
This the young man there, he wanted to get into catfishing. He's been into catfishing, and now, because of the help that everybody has given him, he's stepping up his game, and he's going to end up with that 50 at some point in time.
Oh yeah.
So
you
all deserve a big round of applause.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great guy. Thank you, Avid. We appreciate it. Mark Clark's in the house. Ace is in the house. Greenwell Fishing, Creole Catfishing. Go through a couple of these here. If you see any, just go ahead and shout them out, James. Your boy Troy Catfishing, thank you so much. Betty Jean, Tall Betty's in the house with a couple crosses fishing. Clear Boards, I think we got him a while ago. Jason Lamb, Laura the Explorer, Clearview Outdoors, Fishing with Mike Chavez or Cooking with Mike Chavez. Used to be fishing.
I have a hard time watching Mike Chavez's video. That dude makes me so hungry it's not even funny.
He does. I mean, he's got great fishing videos too.
He does, but when he cooks that food up, it's like, oh man, you're killing me.
There's Robbie. Thank you, Robbie. We appreciate. We was very lucky to have a great guest like you on the show with us tonight. Ernie Brown, Has Life, Fins and Fines, Get Hooked on D. The better half of that family right there.
Yeah.
By far. Brian B. Catfishing. I'm not sure that's not a new name. I don't remember that one. Josh the Weekend Angler, Muskrat, Mark Clark, Catfish and Crappie, Ernie Brown, Jordan Lear, Mo Creek Fishing. I hope you enjoyed the video, Mo Creek. Creo, Hooks and Hammocks, Daniel Ishmael, Parker Pursuits, Kevin with Palmetto, Chad Nolte, Steve Lack 760. I'm not sure. That may be a new one too. We appreciate all you guys coming in and being a part of our show, and we had a really good guest tonight.
Yes, sir.
Willard, you'll have to go back and watch it. He's a very, very nice young man. Serving from home. I seen you and actually subscribed to you today, I believe. I wasn't sure what the deal was with that, but I enjoy going to your channel and finding out a little bit about you. And I try to check people out before I paybacks are rough, Mo Creeks. I try to check out people a lot of times if I'm not familiar with them. And I was quite impressed with what you have got started. So congratulations. That's really good. Robbie now has 96 subs. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I know he'll appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
There's Hagen Grubb still in here. Thank you, Hagen. Robbie's a fan of yours and Landon's. So that's really cool. Thank you, Nick or Chad. We appreciate that.
See, and I hope that that like any of the young kids that watch any of these fishing shows understand that a lot of the smack talk and the banter and stuff like that has been built over the years.
That's exactly.
And
right.
There's a lot of us that understand. There's certain people that can take it, and there's certain people that can't.
That's right.
And then there's going to be people like me that one day just snap, and I go after everyone. And I'm just warning some people now that there's some things coming down the pipeline that you just never know when I might pop up in someone's town or on someone's boat. So
you never know. You never know. And while I have you, I don't get you on Catfish Weekly very often. We have a big trip coming up in a few months.
Yes, we do.
And we're all going to meet up at Mendota and Cherokee Lake, and we are going to try to catch some of those giant channel cat. And I am so excited about that.
Now, I've been thinking about that, all right? And I think everybody that's going up there, if you're going to be fishing out of a boat, it should be a rule that you have one kid's pole on your boat to throw out and try to catch one of those big fish up there. I think that should be rule. And the winner is the person that catches the biggest fish, on the kids' pole.
Well, we'll see how that works out. We're going up there for giant channel cat, and we're going to get into them channels.
Not only giant.
That's the next point. But you and I have another agenda when we get up there.
Yes, we do.
We don't have
ground chat.
What's that?
Wait. Nothing. What were you going to say?
We have
other plans live.
You have something going on that I don't know about, evidently. I hope it's not going to be at my expense. It'd be a lot better if it was at Chad's or Mark's expense. What I'm talking about is yellow perch. We don't have those in my area. Not sure if you have them up that far north or not, but we don't have them down here. And I hear how great those are to eat. I have been told that yellow perch rivals crappie, and if you like crappie, you'll like yellow perch. And if that is the case, and they are actually in season while we're up there, because I'm not for 100% sure we're not going to hit it just about the time the season closes.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I really would like to catch some of those because they look. Man, I dearly love catching panfish and stuff like that, and if they eat as good as crappie, and they're in season.
Yep, Mark from Catfish and Crappie just said it is out of season that week. We're going to be up there.
Sigh. Well, you know
we could drive up there here pretty soon and just ice fish for them.
I ain't ice fishing, no.
It's thick enough, Lyle. Especially with this cold snap.
No.
I mean, think about it. We can invite Creo to come up there.
No. Yeah, good luck with that. I'll tell you what. If you can get Jeremy to go, I'll go. I'm not going to get on the ice, but I'll go.
Come on, Jeremy. Don't make us get your wife back on the show. It's either that. Either you come up ice fishing or we bring Laura back on the show.
You know what? That was a great show you guys had with Laura the other night. I enjoyed that so much. I really did. Josh says, I'm with Lyle. There ain't no way you're getting me on that idea. Guys the size of Josh and I, probably Creo, we make a big splash when we go through that ice.
What do you mean the size of you? You're like 5 foot tall.
That's not
You're
true.
Not that big.
Hagen Grubb says he don't want to do that either.
Yeah, but a lot of you guys are going to be doing some ice fishing here pretty soon if if this weather keeps up.
If it stays
like it or not.
I showed you guys a picture in chat today of Truman Lake, and if the picture was taken in a cove and part of the main lake, and I've never seen the main lake froze. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't froze. I'm saying I hadn't seen it froze, but that picture was taken this morning. It was frozen in the main lake. So
did they say how thick the ice was, though?
No, and I'm not asking because I ain't getting on it. It don't matter to me. Yeah.
You people that put your fishing gear up during the winter season, I just don't understand.
Usually don't have to put it up. Usually we got clear water. I seen another comment. Here's a great comment. Flint Hill Catfishing gang, just take a moment to engage kids when you see them fishing. They might not even care if you speak to them, but they might. And they might. That's a great analogy. Thank you, Brian, for that. Appreciate it very much. One of the best stories that I've got is I was testing a rod that I had built, and I went down to the creek. This was probably 15 years ago. Went down to it's a little, not really, it is a creek that run into Springfield Lake. And I went down there to catch some bluegill and mess around a little bit. And there was a gentleman and his wife there with 2 little kids and a baby. And they was sitting there fishing, only had 2 rods, and they was, I don't know, they wasn't like 202s or something, but there's not any big fish specifically in that area. And the little guy, he wanted to catch fish so bad, or he wanted to fish. I don't know if he just wanted to play in the water. It didn't make any difference. He wanted to fish, right. And they didn't have but the 2 rods, and they was trying to explain to him why it didn't, and I was kind of done anyhow. So I went to the house, and I've always got a bunch of old stuff up there, and I picked up 2 or 3 of them. I took them down there and give them to him and let his kids have those. And I'm hoping someday that those kids will remember that, especially the oldest one, because he's old enough to remember it, and he'll pass that along and do that for somebody else one day. And that guy thanked me and tried to pay me for them. I said, I didn't bring them down here to sell them. I don't want your money. I just want that young man to be able to fish. And he said, well, what if if he does and I'm back down here, we'll go get him another one. It's not a big deal. And that's kind of the way it should be. And
well, and I'm kind of like you. I was down catfishing one night, and a young man came up, and he was about 6 years old, him and his mom, and we started talking, and one of my rods went off, and before I even knew what was going on, that young man reached down and grabbed that rod and started reeling it in.
There you go.
But I had the drag set light enough that he wasn't gaining any progress on it. So I reeled it up, and he started complaining that, it was too big. It was going to, rip it out of his hands. And he's like, what happens if that happens? And I'm like, then I go home and get me another rod. If you're that afraid to lose fishing gear, then there's something wrong, especially for a kid. He ended up catching, I think it was about 1.5 pound, 2 pound channel cat. But to him, that was the biggest fish in the world.
Absolutely. And it was a great fish.
Yep, that was a monster fish. And
Absolutely.
He still talks about it. If I see him, he runs up and goes, I still can't believe the day I outfished you. And that was a couple years ago.
You know what?
So, and I get the biggest kick out of it.
You made a friend. He caught a fish and he's hooked for life. It's just a win-win. I would like to give a shout out to my buddy Skip Stewart, who has a brand new YouTube channel called Clearview Outdoors. And if you get a chance, he's done some pretty cool stuff in the last week or so. It's worth taking a look at. You'll like it. Skip's a great guy, and he'll always do good content. I know enough about Skip to know that if he's going to do it, he's going to do it correctly, and it'll be done right, and it'll be good, solid information. So if you get a chance, go check him out.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Hagen says, yes, it's very convenient being behind my house. I threw a handful up there 10 years. I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about something in chat that I'm behind on.
Well, that didn't surprise me any. I mean,
Yeah,
you're usually never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
What else?
You're starting
what
to
else
become
have you
an
and I got
easier
to talk
target.
about?
This is true. This is true.
What else have you and I got to talk about that we've been missing out on?
Oh, nothing we can talk about on air.
That's probably true.
That's probably true.
That's probably true. How cold's it going to be in your house tonight?
We're going to get down to about -8, maybe 10 with wind blowing. We're probably looking at maybe -30s. So
I have to tell you, after this shoulder surgery, this last one, I actually got around and things healed up faster than the other two did. Didn't have as much pain, so to speak, as I did with recovery. But when I went out to get the trash dumpster and drag it through that snow up to the front, I wished it was empty.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Well, and I will warn everybody in chat, if you're going to hurt yourself, don't do it during the wintertime, especially if you're going to end up in a walking boot.
How's that going?
Listen, having that thing on and having about, 1.5 foot of snow floating around out here between drifts and everything else, it turns into a giant shovel. So my legs won't lift up that high, and I'm scooping snow as we get going. And by the time I get from here to the truck, I've dug my way out pretty much, and my sock starts to freeze in this cold area, and I'm trying to get all the snow out, and there's just no getting it out. So if you're going to do something stupid, try doing it during the summer months. It's a lot easier.
Well, when I knew that I was going to have shoulder surgery, I told them that I wanted to do it to where I wouldn't be fishing. And we hit it pretty good. I mean, I could have fished in the fall when we got that done and been all right. But now by the time warm weather rolls around, I'll be good to go. So I'm really, really glad that I done it that way. Josh says, James, my driveway could use a shoveled. If you have some spare time, I'm thinking that's probably going to be a no, but you might answer Josh on that.
Oh, I just answered him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I just answered him. That's my answer, Josh.
Oh, man. There was you timed him out. I see.
That was my answer.
I see. There was a lady that has become a new staple in all of the chats, and I was going to say something to her a minute ago, and she got away from me, and I want to see it, so I make sure I get it right. Unless you know how to pronounce her name, but I don't see it. It must have been way up in chat.
Is that Sharina?
That's the one. Yeah. Thank you for watching Catfish Weekly tonight. We appreciate having you in the chat with everyone. Justin Fishing Fetish says, "Keep that cold out there, James."
No, I'm listen again. The cold is Mark from Catfish and Crappie. All right. All complaints need to be addressed to him on his Facebook page.
Creole says he took his Can-Am out and got donuts in the ice and snow with the kids.
But that was fun.
I didn't know that you got snow in the state of Louisiana.
There was snow down in Galveston this morning.
It's unbelievable. I got a cousin that lives outside of Houston, and it's just unbearably cold down there. And they might have got a little bit of snow. I'm not sure, but it's really, really cold. Their heater, furnace, and everything went out last night in the middle of the night. And
there's a lot of people that are down south that have no power and stuff like that. There's big ice storms and all that other stuff. And
I got to tell you, we struggled a little bit last summer, but our air conditioner went bad. We had to have a new one in, and we had new heat pump put in for a new furnace, new air conditioner, and boy, am I glad. 8 degrees below zero tonight. I'm really glad. So
it's getting there now. There's a bit, even sitting here in the house, it's almost -4 now. It's getting cooler, and you can feel the chill in the air and stuff like that. But it's still manageable. I'm probably going to be trying to get out and fish for something, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and then try to get ready for this weekend for the Chad's.
I hope it warms up. We're calling for 40s, but here for that, and I hope it does. Hagen says, "Has anyone been fishing in the last week or so?" We're at -2, James. And still in a winter storm warning. So I guess I'm not done with that snow.
I guess you're not.
I'm not thrilled about that, but I'll take it. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yep. And that's all you can do. I mean, you hunker down and you wait for it to, break. And once it gets up to about 10 degrees or so, it's not too bad to go out and try fishing and stuff like that for me.
That's right.
So my biggest problem is that boot and ice do not mix well.
Yeah. So, well, if Katie was really nice, she'd take a shovel and shovel some more in that boot for you.
Well, and that's why I try to stay away from her, but I can't really run all that fast. So
Twisted Fishing TV says it makes you kind of appreciate how hardy northern folks are. That's true.
Because and I think it's Lynn Leeper that lives up in Iowa, and Michael Murillo and them places. They're colder than wheel.
Yeah.
And
colder and more snow too.
Oh yeah.
Fat guys do well in snow. You're right about that. I'm doing all right. Justin Fishing Fetish says James Dockery, the angry shovel-footed roofer, needs to come clean snow off my roof.
Well, I see Mark got him, so I don't have to time him out. Thanks, Mark. I owe you one, bud.
You guys are having too much fun with that. Sharina, keeping it real. There you are. Thank you for being in the show in chat tonight. Gonna bring the fire. There you go. Out of the way.
I think that's what we all need.
That's right.
Nice warm fire to sit around. And
Higgins says the ramps are covered in ice and snow. Wow. Yeah, you know what? As much as everybody wants to go out fishing, be careful. And if you're fishing Chad's tournament this weekend, please be careful. Any and all of you, because some of you are going to be fishing in ice, whether you want to or not. James, you are, I know.
Well, the only thing that might stop me from fishing this weekend is if they don't clean the roads. There's some places in here that have already got 3 or 4 foot snow drifts, and that's on some of the main roads. So the back roads that lead down to Thomas Hill, they're not going to clean. So if they do get a chance to get out there and actually clean them, and we can get to it, then we'll fish it. But if not, then we're going to go on a 3.5 hour drive for no reason at all. But we're still going to go.
Right.
We try to get down over the lake. So
that's exactly right. I know that this is something that you probably don't want to think about, but anybody that's fishing this weekend, be sure to take some ice melt or something if you're going to a ramp with a boat, because that water is going to freeze as soon as you pull them boats back up, probably, unless it warms up a whole lot more.
If it's this cold this weekend in your area and stuff like that, and you're out fishing, take you like 3 or 4 different pairs of gloves. You know, if you notice your fingers starting to get wet or something like that from holding the fish or changing bait or whatever, change them gloves.
That's right.
Because frostbite can jump out and bite you in no time at all.
That's
less
a fact.
than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it'll get you quick, and it's no fun. You don't want it, and keep you some dry clothes in your vehicle just in case you get your foot wet. Another pair of shoes, anything like that. Protect yourself at all times, and make sure that you're ready. I hope he has a great turnout, but I hope the temperature is warm. I know that maybe that doesn't sound fair to the guys that fished in the horrific conditions last week, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt or have issues. I felt sorry for them boys, but man, they couldn't have been too cold. They was dragging them fishing.
But you know, and now I got to thinking about that. You know, I've been talking to Mo Creek and you know, and they were saying that, you know, they really didn't feel the cold except for when the fish weren't biting. And that's just the thing about it is your adrenaline gets pumping when you're actually catching those fish.
That's right.
And so you don't feel your fingertips.
Right.
You know, you're not thinking about, you know, okay, stop, you know, dry up, get this stuff, and you know, you just keep fishing. I've done it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, you know, I've been out, but for, you know, an hour longer than what I should be. And by the time I get back to the car, of course, Katie's yelling at me, you know, at that point about, you know, how smart I actually truly am. And is it truly worth it? And of course I'm saying, yes, it was worth it, as I'm, you know, sitting there shivering to death for the next 5 hours trying to warm up.
I just seen Bob with Fins and Fine, who happens to be in Florida. He sent me some pictures. He's been fishing down there. Yeah. Poor guy. It's probably 80 degrees down there. He said life jackets a must in cold weather. Yes. I would agree. You know, and I'm not sure anybody really had one on last weekend unless they was in a boat. But I'm telling you right now, that's a great idea. If you're going to be around the water in this kind of weather, that's not even for you, James, at Thomas Hill. That's a warm water discharge. But if you fall in.
And here's kind of the goal, because of my health issues and stuff like that. I can't go fishing by myself anymore. So I always have to have somebody there with me. But if you guys that are going fishing by yourself and stuff like that, you know, it wouldn't hurt to get you one of those, you know, self-inflating life vests.
That's right.
It really truly wouldn't. Or even one of the old style, you know, vests that actually have that little bit of cushion in there. It's an added warmth.
That's exactly right.
And it does, you know, you never know if you're going to slip into that water.
No, you don't, especially when you're on rocks and things.
Yeah.
That's the way, you know, you can't time me out tonight.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and say this. If you fall in and that boot gets full of water, you're probably not going to swim back to shore.
No, I'm not.
So I think Katie ought to make you wear one.
No, I know, but she's going to be. We looked up Google Earth exactly where we're going to be fishing and stuff like that. And I do usually take, you know, something along the way, as far as something to bust up ice if it's along the ramp, something to clean.
Thomas Hill won't have ice on it, will
it? You know, I don't know. This cold snap, as cold as it is, for as long as it's been cold, Up there by the warm water discharge, it won't, but at the lower end, it may.
Or which is
May.
you don't want to say which end you're fishing at?
No, I'm fishing at the warm water discharge.
Okay, good, because
And,
up there, as warm as that water is, you got a chance at a flathead.
Yes, I do.
Because that's warm
even as cold as it is. Yep, that little outlet or inlet that I'm going to be fishing is maybe quarter of a mile from where they actually discharge the water from.
It'll still be
and
warm.
by the time it gets down to where I'm going to be fishing, it might be 45, 46 degrees. So it still should be pretty good.
Bob says I was right. It's mid-80s there today with a heat index of 90. His sunburn got worse. What are we doing wrong, James?
We're doing. I have no. Listen, and this is where I'm getting upset. Usually, it's Katie that does the spontaneous trips. I mean, we could be sitting here and she'd just say, "Hey, let's pack up and let's go here or there," and off we go.
Right.
About a week ago, I told her, I'm like, "Let's just pack up and go to Galveston, go down to Louisiana, go to Holly Beach, somewhere nice and warm." And she said no. She said, "We're just going to stay home for a while and all this stuff." And we would have been, at least had warm memories of the, what the beach felt like this week while it was so cold. So I'm not too happy about that. And I could have done some more fishing.
Heck yeah. We had a great show tonight, James. I want to thank you for helping me out with this. When we started, James Smith had called me and had zero internet. He got some after the show was started, but I was glad that you was available. I knew with Robbie and all the help that you do at the MDC and working with kids and stuff would be a great guy to help me out with that. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of it. I give you a lot of grief, but whenever I need you, you're always there.
Yes, sir.
And
I will be.
It makes things good for us, and I thank you so much for everything that you and Katie do for everybody in the fishing sports, and especially the work that you do with the Missouri Department of Conservation. That's really really awesome.
I enjoy it way too much to
well, there you go.
At this point.
That's if you didn't do it, if you didn't enjoy it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be doing it anyhow. So
right, and I have so much fun doing it. So
well, there you go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the show tonight. We're running on about an hour and a half. Want to thank everybody for watching. Be sure to tune in and watch Panfish Weekly. We're going to have Mike Baker, a local guy from Missouri, fishes Lake of the Ozarks, pretty much a pro at the catching crappie and stuff, will be on our show. He'd probably talk about live scope and his boat and his equipment and stuff. He's supposed to be on with us Thursday night, right after James and Chad on the bait shop. And then Friday, Mark with Catfish and Crappie. Then Monday's Catfish Weekly again. And everybody in between. So
that's right. There you go.
I want to thank everybody for watching.
I do want to say before we get out of here, Christina Duggan, could you get a hold of me so we can go ahead and set that night up? Because we really need to have you on our show while Josh is at work.
I'm thinking that's a great idea. If you can get it pulled off, I think it's a great idea. We'll see how that works out. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
See ya.